Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be making a recipe for fry bread, and I'm also going to do my version of Navajo tacos. Okay, so for my dough, here I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and these are 3 loosely packed cups. I will leave the weighed measurements in the description below to make it a more accurate dough for you, but if you're not weighing your ingredients, then just make sure you fluff up your flour, give it a scoop, level it off with maybe a butter knife, and then put it into your bowl. Because a heavy packed cup of flour, you might end up needing more liquid to make it a pliable dough. Okay, so 3 cups of flour. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Here I have 8 fluid ounces or 1 cup of hot water. To that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. I'm using grapeseed oil. You could also use 2 tablespoons of lard or butter if you like. Before I add this, I almost made a mistake there. You want to mix in the baking powder and salt. Now I'm just going to combine, mix until a dough ball forms. Okay, so the dough has come together. Just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour, and I'm going to start kneading my dough for about 5 minutes until the dough ball is smooth on the surface and the gluten has worked. You'll press it and the dough will kind of spring back. That's what you're looking for. Okay, so here's what you're looking for. The dough is smoother on the surface, and if you press it, it springs back. That's what you're looking for when you're kneading this. So I'm actually going to go ahead and divide this dough into 10 dough balls. Okay, so I have all of my dough balls formed, and now I'm just going to cover this with a damp cloth, and I'm going to let my dough balls rest for at least 20 minutes. I say 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to actually be serving this with toppings. I'm going to make a ground meat picadillo to go on top of this, with some fresh lettuce and tomatoes. So I'm going to work on my meat topping while this rests. I have my pot preheating. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of cooking oil into the pot. And now I'm going to add 1 medium-sized potato that I've just peeled and diced. I'm going to saute and brown my potato for about 5 minutes. Okay, so my potatoes have already cooked for about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to add 1 pound of lean ground turkey meat. You could add ground beef. I had a thawed pack of ground turkey, so I'm going to use that today. So to season this, I'm going to use a combination of spices. I will put the spices somewhere here on the screen of the combination that I use, but you could use any seasonings and spices that you like. I'm going to give that a mix. And right in. Now I'm just going to continue cooking, breaking my ground meat apart and combining it with the seasonings and spices that I used. Okay, so now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of water. And I'm just going to cover with a lid. I'm going to lower the heat to a medium-low heat and just let it simmer covered and continue to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. Basically, I want the water to sort of evaporate, but at the same time cook the potatoes through. Okay, so at this point my potatoes are soft, and just to check, you can see you just can break it with the spoon. So I'm going to shut the heat off on this and set it aside until I'm ready to use it. Okay, so My dough balls have rested for well over 20 minutes, and look how soft and stretchy they are. And a good indication that it has rested long enough is that it stretches without snapping back or shrinking back. That's exactly what you're looking for. If you start rolling these out or pulling them into, pulling them into your fry bread and it shrinks back, that means the gluten needs a longer rest time. It needs to rest more. So these are great. So you could do, just kind of sprinkle a little flour here. And then what I'm going to do is you can spread it with your hands. Just kind of work the dough and spread it with your hands. You can also use a rolling pin, which I will eventually do, but for those that, this dough should stretch easily without shrinking back too much. So I kind of find it easy if you sort of press it with your hands, maybe use a rolling pin to get it started, and then just kind of start pulling it. Just kind of start pulling it like that. There, here we go. And then if you want to kind of break a hole in the center, that works. That keeps it from puffing up too much. So here we go. I'm going to do several more, and then I'm going to start frying these. As you can hear, my fry oil is preheating. Okay, so my fry oil is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or until you stick a wooden spoon and it starts to bubble around the handle of the wooden spoon. And you're just going to carefully lay it into your fry oil, just like that. Kind of want to poke a hole in it wherever it bubbles too much. Just kind of press it in there. Turn it over. And it really doesn't cook long on each side. You're basically looking for a golden brown color. And here we are. There we go. So here is all of my fry bread. And as you can see, it's fried till golden brown on each side. And of course they were not perfect, but they looked so perfect right now after they're cooked. So do not fret if you can't get them in perfect circles, whether you roll them out or press them out by hand. It'll all work in the end. Okay. So, oops. So there you go. So here's what we are eating today, and I'm just going to take a little bit of Mexican sour cream, or actually this is table cream, and I'm just going to drizzle it right over the top. And that is it. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.